Hey guys, welcome back. So for this video, we're actually going to be doing a replay review of the most recent game we have on the channel. If you haven't seen that video, there is going to be a link to it just here above. I do recommend you go and watch that video first so you can see how the game pans out. There's going to be obviously a lot of spoilers here. But without further ado, enjoy the game.
Walls and I really controlled the map, but he just pushed into my base. I feel like I really didn't have the defenses set up in my base properly, and I feel like my micro getting to my villagers is probably not the best. So, well, let's see what he did here. We'll speed it up because it was obviously a very long game. Right, scout to start with. I got my scouts out a little bit earlier on the right side than him, because I had a lot of sheep, so that was nice. But in the same token, he completely neutralized the left side for me. I probably should have cut in there, down here. That would have made a lot of sense. I even thought about it in hindsight, so that was just kind of quite different on my part. So we went with 4 scouts. 5 scouts. No, 4 scouts. 4 scouts. He's heavy on the food. There's a really good age of timing there, to be honest, from the guy. Very solid. Considering he left a few deer patches too. Thing was as well, I really didn't get much raiding in. I was trying to do more of like a tower playstyle when I played against the guy. I think just getting more like, 2 knights at the back, hitting his gold would have been good. I did it a couple of times at the begining, but things just got so bogged down. I feel like it's tough with Rus as well, because obviously they're getting all their gold from just killing animals, so they really don't, they don't need to go out from their base too much. As long as they have a solid woodline and sheep, maybe the berries eventually, then they're good. I did try and get the berries at the end, but pretty really solid game. Yeah, so at this point we killed a few of the hunts, so that was solid. Got him down just a little bit there. He's doing some super long distance sheep gathering. Okay, now he's going out to the board. So this was nice that he did, I think. That went and got towers down on the board. Was he? Wait, what? Sent his guys out. Then he sent them back. Okay. Not too sure why he'd do that, to be honest.
Готово, трудитесь и есть.
So we have our person getting across now. He does spot it in the mid. Let's see if he switches to it. So he didn't switch to it.
Что делать и надобно?
Interesting. Okay.
Мне нравится. Кто стреляет? Где ворон?
Я здесь.
Ополчение есть. Сделано добро есть. Ворон, близ стоит.
He's just ecoing really hard, building a few spearmen just to kind of fend me off a little bit here. Sees that knight coming in. This was a tough bit. I was thinking about it, and I wasn't really sure how to approach his base, because he just had such a safe lumber line. There's only one way to get to it, really. And that was it. Very hard. Once he got that tower up, the lumber line was kind of completely safe, really. So he's got such a good base spawn. I feel like for me, my lumber was both on the front, and even my gold was quite far away. Obviously, his gold's not the closest, but it is right at the back, so I feel like his spawn was so solid. Everything he needed to get his base going was behind, so really, really hard to get raids in.
Радуйся.
Сие мне нравится. Готово есть.
Готовы.
Сделано добро есть.
Наказы исполняйте.
Радуйся. Ополчение есть.
Still has no one on gold. He's just been totally relying on the hunt, I guess.
Наказывай.
Что делать надо?
I guess is how we got so many pikemen here, just all in on including wood there. This was a really bad fight. I remember not macroing properly there. Macroing. I think that's one thing I have to get a lot better at, is just switching to my alerts quickly. Yeah, I think these initial walls were really good, but maybe I could have stopped there. Instead of getting, like, you know, I tried to get walls kind of everywhere. I think just funneling them into that one spot was really nice. The key then was just building a big mass and really trying to poke at each other. Even looking at it from this POV, though, it's so hard to see how I could have harassed him. His base is just so secure. Yeah, this was the tough bit, is he already got to his age 3. I just didn't do enough harassing to really stop him. So even there, I didn't realize that I could have pushed onto that deer a bit more. Okay, I see it there and get a few villager picks, but he was harvesting that for quite a while, and that was the only food he was going for. Oh. Never knew about those villagers, too. Then I start bringing outposts down that deer, but it's already feeling it. It's surprising he didn't get more relics, considering what I went for his one. He picked up the one and used it in combat against me, but so finally I find those villagers out there. Yeah, not good there. A lot of damage coming in on my knights. So I think one key in future is maybe I pick one resource. I say, look, I'm going to stop this guy getting food. If I harass the deer, okay, he must have switched to the berries. Then I go for the berries. I think I was kind of doing a little bit of, like, each resource. I went for the lumber a little bit. I went for the food a little bit. I think it would have been a bit more useful to just focus down his food eco.
Копейщик готовки. Что докажете? Потрудись изрядно. Построен.
Построено добро есть. Стоять эти трудницы надо внесу.
Подайте поручение.
I think overall this was a fairly good fight for me in the end, but I didn't cap that last as well. One of the issues I had as well is I never researched siege engineering. I did get a blacksmith up at one point, but I just felt like I could never let off fully with food production. I didn't really have a good reason to go for a run, but see, right now I'm trying to get myself up to H3. Just got there. So I did have the wood for a bit. I could have added in a ram here. I had way too much food. That was one issue I had, although he had a lot of lumber.
Трудницу надо внесуть. Немного будет. Что накажет?
Дайте мне работу.
Yeah, and then he goes for ram. And I feel like in this situation, he should never be getting that first ram down. I had so much pressure on him the whole game, and I just never got a ram out at all. Obviously, once I hit age 3, there was kind of no point in my mind, because I was going to go for trebuchets instead. Ram was well for him for his taking down these towers, though.
Повинуйся с честью. Дело сделано. Копейщик готовки. Туда, гад. Орудия стреляют! Трудимся. Да будут. Потрудимся изрядно. Построено добро есть, стоять и много будет.
Построено добро есть. Стоять.
Копейщик готов есть.
A bit unfortunate too. This was right when I got my trebuchet, so I could have started getting some nice pressure on his base, and then I immediately lose my whole army there. So what were the build counts at this point? He's at 46, and I was at 72, so I was miles ahead. I just had 1 TC. Obviously the French do get a bonus there, but I think he must have just missed build production a little bit. So I had a lot of resources. It's I think that was the issue in this game. I had the pressure, and I had the resources, but I just couldn't get the final kill on him, and when he did push into my base, he was just a lot more efficient with it. I got my villagers a lot better. You know, I have knights, they can really tank a lot of the TC fire, and I don't think I just went for his villagers enough. Although there's a big villager gap though. He had nice base building though, he kept everything really nice and compact. I think my base is a bit more sprawling, a bit more easy to attack. I also didn't build backwards too much. I made a judgment call at one point to build all my production buildings forward so they'd be closer. And I think that came to bite me in the butt just a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah, the men-at-arms were just really hard for me to deal with as well. See, I was wondering how those villagers stayed in there, but I realized they were in and they walled them in. Oh, so that would have been some pretty good, because I could have just walled those villagers. Here was kind of the turning point in the game, because he took out basically all my siege here. Very unfortunate. Really tough with the knights, because obviously I have to protect my siege, I have to dive in, but the spearmen just minced my knights. I stopped producing archers because he had men-at-arms and knights, but you pikemen do have it. So strong. We do clean this up, but like at what cost? I think the resource trade there was very efficient for him. It leaves him in a really good place. He could have actually at this point gone to age 4 if he really wanted to. He wants the gold now. So even at this point in the game, his economy is no map vision. I had all the opportunity to really strike here, and I feel like I just didn't at all. Do start pushing up here a little bit, but the spearmen, I just couldn't deal with the spearmen well enough, and the archer mass I had at the beginning, I don't know if I just didn't micro properly, or what really went wrong there, but I just couldn't deal with the pikemen properly. He had a really good comp. He had a mix of pikemen, he had men-at-arms, he had knights, he had archers, horse archers even at one point. It was expensive to upgrade all of those, but I mainly just went knights. I thought that would be the play, but I think if I had diversified a little bit more instead of just going knights and siege, it could have worked out a bit better for me. It's even knights and pikemen. Obviously, he had a lot of lancers and everything too, so we could have done that. Knights and pikemen. If we just built a few more ranges and tried to amass some archers as well, it's I think there's a few things we could have done to turn this game around. That's why we're here learning. Close game on points though. 30 minutes into the game, we're 100 points. now he's going for another TC. Okay. I think that's a good call by him. He is behind on the... I don't think he knows he's behind on bills too much, but he's a little bit behind, so it makes sense for him to try and boost that little bit of TC. See, I never even knew about this TC. See, that's probably what I should have done. To the point in the game when I had a lot of food to burn. Well, at that point, I should have gone for a TC and just absolutely boom out of control. Maybe set up map control initially. Bump out a few knights, just enough to make him scared, make him a master unit pikeman. That was kind of the final straw. He has just more resources than me at this point. My income was good, but I was just burning it on army and just throwing the army away. I am positive on the KD right now, but I've been using primarily knights and siege, and he's had a lot of lower cost units, so... I think we just took 4 fights, really. I think that was the key there. I think our macro was good, our map control was really solid. I think we just needed to take a few better fights, maybe fight by the towers more, or get some early siege. We never really did a lot of damage to his base. So, like 35 minutes of game of having map pressure, and we didn't really apply too much pressure at all, so... I think that's where we went wrong there, and then just gonna go through and just finish off my base. I think the keeps for him maybe weren't the best idea, because I already had trust, so... Like even that he did, just branching off a few knights, it's just so hard to deal with. It takes time, it takes your APM away.